right, I'd like to take this opportunity now to introduce our Vice President of Area Operations of the Great Lakes area. Erica Brix, named Vice President, Area Operations, Great Lakes area in January of 2019. She is responsible for 77,000 employees for all aspects of operations, marketing, and customer engagement. She oversees the development and the implementation of strategies to increase productivity and revenue and identifying current and potential operational opportunities to develop long-range strategic strategies and initiatives. I'd like to take this time to introduce, and I'm very proud to do so, our area AVP and our first keynote speaker, Mrs. Erica Brix.
Well, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Being a part of, when you think about it, 140 PCCs celebrating this week, and you being a integral partner with the Postal Service is just invaluable, how we've evolved over decades together as PCCs. I've had a pleasure throughout my career to be a part of many, many PCCs, and it's just so valuable, the connections and the networking and how we partner together to A, solve problems, A, think of innovative ways to grow our business and to continue to add value to the mail and the industry. So I'm a real advocate and support wholeheartedly the Detroit PCC, and it's just a pleasure to be here with you today. Now I have to figure out which clicker's going to do what here, so bear with me. But as we go on and on with our presentation today, it's really about that customer journey. And we're going to talk a lot about that customer journey, from trying to gain a new customer, retain a customer, so that we can continue to have valuable campaigns and advertisements and partner together to draw on a loyal customer base and retain that customer. So again, thank you for your partnership. And here's our industry supply chain. And throughout the organization, the partnerships that from the entry point of our mail, making sure that's a positive customer experience, that entry point, and trying to make it seamless and as smooth as possible. And then getting into the processing and the transportation piece, all the way to the delivery piece. Everything in that supply chain, partnering with vendors, suppliers, printers, envelope companies, paper companies, and all of our industry together, trying to, again, make it a positive experience for you so that you can get the most for your return on your investment with the entire supply chain. And then a little bit about binding the nation when you think about it. 600,000 employees strong with the Postal Service, 600,000 strong out there advocating for your business. Your brand is certainly our brand, and we take that very seriously throughout our districts and the whole organization, trying to, again, make it a positive experience with those 600,000 employees and leveraging them and their ideas. And a lot over the last decade or so, getting into a lean environment so that we can, lean out our processes and our problems throughout, the entire supply chain, using tools, technology, those employees to problem solve and to really be out there advocating. And then this year, really want to highlight the 187,000 access points. That's huge. For the organization and for the customers. And then our digital infrastructure. When I first looked at this, I cued in on where it says the 90 PB. I never heard of a petabyte, right, in my life, because I'm not a techno expert, right? I'm an operations expert and a consumer advocate type expert. But a petabyte, so who knows what a petabyte is? other than Steve, that's going to come up, and he's our technical guru on everything, all of our informed visibility platforms. But what a petabyte is this huge ability to store data. And you think about how big is it? It's 1 million gigabytes. So 1 million gigabytes. And we have 90 of these petabytes. And the ability to have 600 million hits every day on our USPS.com website. That's a lot of customer base to tap into, right? And when we get into informed delivery, I'll even share with you millions, 19 million now on informed delivery. And again, our competitive competition, very fierce in every part of our organization and our industry for the first mile, the middle mile, the last mile in particular. And we'll go into a great deal of conversation about what we're doing to continue to grow and be a viable force to be reckoned with our last mile competition. A lot of strategies out there. We have national teams with all subject matter experts really within headquarters, the area, and all of our districts working on strategic initiatives, particularly around the package industry and being flexible, nimble to go after and think of things in a different way to go after that business. Megan touched on it in her video with, the Sunday piece. So that's just one piece. We're looking at all aspects of that competition and that last mile, leveraging that we go to over 4 million miles per day on the road. And some of that consumer, all of that consumer behavior is what's driving that, right? How many of you have clicked on something in the last 24 hours right from your mobile app, shopping for something? I know I have. Even in airports, I need to continue to get things delivered at home. And, they say the average consumer yearly is getting 27 packages. I'm thinking yearly, 27 packages. I probably get 27 a week. But it's really changing the entire industry on the shipping front to have that consumer really want that package same day, next day, right, or free shipping. So it's really making us all lean out some of the things that it's going to take so that we can keep up and be very competitive and robust in that field. And then certainly some of our competitors there, you all see the Amazon trucks, in the neighborhood, really crowdsourcing delivery, Uber and things we might not have thought of 5 years ago are happening now, and just, real fierce competition. And again, here's just showing each of our classes of mail, and 61% of this is 89% of our revenue. And we all know we have competing forces, certainly with e-payments and online forces. I have never paid a bill online, ever, in my entire life. I know how to do it. I don't want to do it. And many consumers also don't want to do it because, to me, the hard copy piece of mail is a record for me. It's a way to file that I've, paid it. And sometimes I would think I would get caught up in paying bills online and thinking, did I pay that one? And how would I keep a record? Well, that's what we're finding in some of the research as well. The people that are still using the mail, certainly for bill payments, as an example, they do it because of that trusted entity with the Postal Service, and they also do it because they want that record or that hard copy. So that's good. Marketing mail, about 51% of our volume. And then despite the declines, we have so much out there with the digital omni-channels, pairing up physical mail with the digital and making it so much more of a return on your investment and so much better of a opportunity for you to grow your business and really be able to continue. I think I will have you click because it's distracting for me to click two screens. Apologize for that. I'd like to just stick with this screen. This one is adding the value of mail and really talking again about that trust and that record keeping. And 78% of the household prefers getting a hard copy bill. Do any of you find that shocking? Well, I'll show you some of the millenniums experience and some of the Generation X experience and the baby boomers experience with mail. And I did find some of that data very interesting. And again, here, 77% of us are checking our mail 5 days a week. I know I check mine 6 days a week. As soon as I get home, I'm checking my informed delivery, what's coming in the mail. I love the informed delivery enhancement and part of that technology, and I think we're just skimming the surface of how we can leverage that partnership with that omni-channel for your advertising campaigns. But if you go even deeper here, it shows you the boomers spend 6.9 minutes on reading their mail, where the Generation X is 7.3 minutes, and those millennials that some of us might have been afraid of, how do we tap into those millennials? 8.3 minutes they're spending reading their mail. I think that's important. They might be getting less mail than a baby boomer, but they're spending 8.3 minutes going through their ads, their advertisements. They love the coupons. They love the money-saving opportunities, and they love when it's personalized, right, for them. And that's really, what we got to tap into and continue to tap into, that creativity and how do we make it personal for that large group of millennials. And then 56% of those consumers, again, try a new business after opening that marketing piece. And restaurants are the highest number for the marketing, trying the new business. Restaurants, retailers, and then automotive industry. So again, some good research to think about as you're building your campaigns. And then continuing on with the value of mail, the political mail. Very good research showing the candidates leveraging that political mail, and most of us getting a minimum of, would you say, 1 piece per week? I would say sometimes I'm getting 3, 4 a day in the mailbox when it's election time, right? Especially a large like presidential election or large local governor election, Senate races, and that kind of thing. But the research shows 80% of those that are getting it are receiving it at least once a week, and I would say that's a bare minimum. And of that, says 47% agreed that the most memorable form was that political advertisement that resonates. They remember those names. People even take those to the booth so that they can remember some of the other things that might be less memorable on a campaign. Maybe you just know the larger candidates that are going and not the council members or whatever you're voting on. So they bring that piece of mail with them to the voter place to, again, recall, memory recall. And this is just really showing the advertising dollars and where we're really 50% of it is being spent on the digital. So we have to embrace both the direct mail, the digital mail, to have that omni-channel and really have that value and partner up technology with that hard copy piece of mail. And it's just showing you over the last 10 years. And here's where we did the research. We had 7 different focus groups that really delved into the direct mail and the digital and really came up with improved solutions for those campaigns and advertisements. And again, pointing out that the strength is in when you marry them up and partner the digital with the physical. And here we have that customer journey, again, trying to win over and entice and draw that customer into the products that you're responsible for selling, that you're trying to get those leads. Demographics, there's so much information and data out there that we didn't have 10 years ago even to really target those mailings very specific. And then turning those leads into purchases and buying behavior. And then again, the loyalty. How many of you have loyalty programs that you airline miles that were kind of loyal when, you're getting rewarded, or hotels. How many of us are maybe affiliated with brand loyalty through hotels? Starbucks, excellent example of loyalty programs. Myself, I won't pay $3.50 for a buck of coffee. $3.50 for a cup of coffee, right? I was so happy to see we had coffee over here and it was all fancy and I could get it for free. And but that doesn't say that it doesn't drive obviously everyone else in America. But I'll go to McDonald's and pay a buck, or I'll make my own. And then the repeat sale obviously is what's driving that loyalty. But think about that journey, because I'm going to show you a video that'll kind of really put that journey in retrospect. Ignite the spark. Whoop. Technical difficulties. Let's start it. This is a great video, I promise. We'll just start it over.
Like a flip of a switch, their journey begins. And it's up to you to shine through to your customer. And by delivering mail at just the right time, it creates that perfect push to get your customer to act. Because by using the magic of mail, you can create that spark right from the start. And by engaging your customer on their journey, both physically and digitally, you can achieve incredible results. There's a period of time when your customer will feel overwhelmed, when everything's fighting for their attention as they search for the perfect product. And all that searching, liking, and shopping turns into data. And that data turns mail into something personal, something meaningful. Because nothing's more powerful than receiving mail that's irresistible, digital, and impactful. When your customer is about to make a decision, sometimes all it takes is a small yet smart nudge to get the green light. Because when you use digital data, you'll know exactly when to reach them through mail. That way, you can deliver the right incentive at the right time and help that customer make the right purchase. Now the customer is eager to receive their package. This is the perfect time to send data about their purchase straight into their hands. Once their package arrives, it's like reaching the light at the end of the tunnel. Through this new power of mail, you were able to create a personalized experience that just wants to be shared. This is what happens when data makes mail smarter, and smarter mail makes customers happier. And it doesn't end there. There are so many dynamic ways to create loyal customers right from the start. Because as an old chapter closes, it's time for a new one to begin.
So what do you think of that? I don't know about you, but it gave me kind of some ideas. I got some old lamps. I got some junk I don't like. But I hope that kind of resonated with you as it did with me, you know, that journey along the way, enticing that customer in and getting them to purchase what they were sending and advertising and getting the perfect personalized lamp for her when she found it, and then the coupon right behind it in the mail for the next purchase, and you know, really developing that partnership and relationship with that customer, and then retaining that loyalty. So I thought that was excellent. All right. And again, journey tools and talking about that conversation about mail and making it relevant and valuable as we go. Innovations and transformations within the mail, the informed delivery. How many of you do not have informed delivery? Because if you don't, we're going to sign you up and we're not letting you leave the room, right? Honestly, 19 million signed up for informed delivery, and Steve is going to talk a great deal about informed delivery, so I'll click through some of the slides so you don't have to get a double dose, but I will say it's the greatest thing that I've seen in a long, long time. I love it personally. That's the first personal email I open every single morning, and I want to know exactly what I'm getting. And the click-through rates and the data that can be generated through that platform, Steve will talk a lot about. But just a phenomenal way to reach 19 million people, marrying up campaigns and using that as part of your advertisement. And then retargeted mail, we'll talk a little bit about that. And, you know, abandoned shopping carts. You know, how many of us are surfing around trying to find the perfect, you know, item that you're looking for, but you abandon the cart, and a way to, you know, glean that data from those abandoned carts is another redirected targeted mail piece, right? And then we're going to talk about informed visibility and what that does for not only our customers and mailers and everyone that's using that in the industry, but also for our internal use. My team, throughout the whole Great Lakes area and throughout the whole nation, we're using the technology and tools to solve problems in real time. And we're able to pinpoint problems so much quicker than we could, you know, 5-10 years ago, and really find our pain points and bottlenecks and things so that we can really improve our service on each of our mailings. And we also use the technology and tools to pair up lanes, you know, where we may have network or transportation issues that we can delve into. We use it to streamline costs. And I'm very proud of the use of the tools here in Detroit. Detroit is #1 in the nation for using some of the tools that are out there to look at staffing and scheduling. #1 in the nation with over 500,000 hours saved in the Detroit district alone throughout between the plants, delivery, retail. 500,000 hours, it's more than 500,000. 2.5% below the same period last year. That is just phenomenal cost savings, and you know, one example of how we use many of our new technology tools to eliminate and keep the costs down for the organization. And then the digitally enhanced mail that we've already touched on. And then informed delivery, again, 19 million. We're going to have 20 million by the end of this year, certainly. And 40 million is what we're targeting. 40 million by next year, and we will get there. And when you think about that, that's 13.9 million that have it on their phone. You know, very easy to see the mail pieces. And why do I like to see the mail pieces? Because I have 2 homes. One in Chicago, and I just purchased a home in Minnesota. But I did live in Denver and just sold that house. But then I can see the mail going to that house as well. So I know if my husband is, you know, picking and choosing what he wants me to see when I get home, right? Every 2 weeks I go home, I want to see all of my mail. I want every coupon, I want every catalog. You know, I love my catalogs, and I love spending my time. I spend more than 6.9 minutes, I can assure you, reading all of my catalogs alone, probably at least 30 to 45 minutes looking through what I want, and then prompting me to go online to look even further and do some comparison shopping, right, for what I'm looking for. But that's just one story why I love the informed delivery from a consumer aspect. And then again, we're taking on 208,000 a week, signing them up with different platforms. Most recently, My Move. I noticed when I went to do my return forward address that it prompted me, do you want informed delivery? Well, I already have it, you know, but if I didn't have it, what a great way to learn about it and start becoming a user. And once you're hooked, you're hooked. And I say 96% of those 19 million, so think about that, 96% or more are satisfied and love it. And I don't know about any of you, but 96% of the population that can agree on one thing, that's a good thing, right? And this is showing us just the saturation levels. And you can see certain states, California, Washington, D.C., Colorado, really high saturation rate of those informed delivery users. And I even looked at this by city, and Chicago and Detroit have some of the higher than the 12% national saturation rates, 18% saturation in Chicago and Detroit, about 16 to 17%. So good information, again, where to leverage some campaigns within those areas. And then a 62% open rate. I mean, we're all inundated, right? That's a very high percentage of open rate and then click-in rate. But Steve will get into really the nuts and bolts around some of the data. I think we already went through this, the density and open rates. And think about 42% of that 19 million now. So that's about 11.5 million, roughly, have seen interactive campaigns within the last 6 months. And of that, 72% have clicked on them. And of that, 68% have made purchases. So think about that. That's millions of people making purchases just based on that informed delivery and some of those very successful campaigns. I'll show you a few of those. These are some of the campaigns around informed delivery, promotion that I'll show you a few more, other campaigns, reporting through. The reporting and the data and the information, Steve will go through that with you as well. What can you do with that data, you know, for your company and for your business? And again, promotional materials, partnering with the digital. We already talked about the automotive industry, now the financial industry, telecommunications, retail. Those are some of the interactive campaigns that we have. And then mail repositioning, ID campaigns, business customer, they're available on the Business Customer Gateway, the Postal Pro. And then these are some of the ways, obviously, to target, you know, summer travel and different seasons, the holiday coming up, the P.O. box, school, back to school, different ways of targeting and growing your consumer base. And then retargeted direct mail, again, we talked a little bit about that, and understanding the multi-touch points and the combination of the physical, digital, and that omni-channel being the highest return on your investment, the most productive, and the most valuable. How are we doing on time, Don? We good? All right. And then the informed visibility, and I gave you some examples of how the Postal Service uses that to fix problems, improve service. I mean, that's what we do. We have so much data. Daily, we have teams out there that are reviewing that data, drilling deeper and deeper to really identify the root causes, find the pinpoints. I gave you a good example to how you can use that data so that you can see your mail and see your mail through the system. And then the end-to-end visibility from the entry point to the delivery point, and all the scans and the scanning and what you can do with all that data to really leverage what you need to for your industries. And then so many more scans, the out for delivery scans. We're continuing to develop our technology when we look forward to a new enhancement coming out next year where the carrier, when they break the geofence, you'll get that out for delivery. We have another one coming out this month, or October, where we have the retail. We used to have the distribution up scan that would trigger out for delivery and that kind of thing, and now we're going to have, as they sort the package at the delivery unit, you'll be getting triggered, so it'll be earlier triggers for our customers. They've said that they want that, and it's very valuable for them. How many of you track where your package is when you're ordering something, right? You want to know, where is it? Is it in the delivery unit? Am I going to have it at my house today? So we're getting honed in on very, very good technology around that, and Steve will get into the different omni-channel marketing opportunities with you. And this is an example of an award-winning campaign that was done and kicked off at the National Postal Forum this year here in Indianapolis. And it was a paper company, and they were just talking about the tactile and different colors and things that enticed their customer, and had a little pop-up there, a personalized invitation, and it was really very creative, again targeting paper companies and different things that you could do to advertise ways of developing a campaign around the different color and textile touching. It was kind of a three-dimensional pop-up. It was pretty cool. And this one was also an award-winning. Hay Needle is house goods, much like Wayfair or other companies like that. And they had a very enticing informed delivery campaign that went very well, again, combining the future customer, trying to gain that customer, and the whole experience. And they had an 82% open rate, a very successful campaign, and then a 1.17 click-through rate. And this is listing this year's promotional things. There are still three there: the informed delivery, the personalized color, and the mobile shopping. And then we will announce in 2020, we will continue to have promotional campaigns. So those will be announced probably November range for next year. But our customers have told us that's very important, those campaigns and those promotions. And this is something that's so cool. When we went to the forum 2 forums ago, how many of you have not been to a postal forum? It's a great way, much like the PCCs or the Area Inspiring Mail, great way to have connections and contacts with everyone in the industry, our suppliers, our vendors, our executives, and really a lot of networking and a lot of educational things. But we had 2 college kids come up at the one 2 years ago from Bentley and Clemson. And when they first got on stage and they were really being honest and telling their story, right, that those 2 universities piloted the academic outreach and including the postal in their marketing curriculum, the ways that we can, use direct mail for their advertisements and their, growing their business. These kids never even would have thought of the Postal Service as, the schools weren't teaching that in the marketing and sales curriculum. So off of that, the next year, 7 colleges got very involved and added 15 courses to their curriculum. And it's just building. Now next year's going to be 60 colleges that are participating in this program. And that is so excellent for the industry and for the Postal Service. When you think about now we're educating our future leaders of industries and companies and organizations to know how powerful using direct mail with the digital and learning about that in their college marketing curriculum. I just think that's fantastic. And then we have one in the Great Lakes area, Stout University in Wisconsin, that's participating in that. And that is, I think that's pretty phenomenal in 2 years to go from 2 colleges to 60. I think that's great for all of us. And here's an example of a very successful one of those 60 colleges, Honolulu, and the professor got so passionate when he saw the return on his own company's investment by using direct mail and the digital that he insisted some of his clients try it. He said, you're not going to be disappointed. So I thought that was worth mentioning. And then we have for the PCCs a whole like workshop in a box so that you can take some of this information and go ahead out in your businesses and it's right there in the direct effect. You can take some of that academic marketing and how direct mail is a powerful solution when paired with the digital. And then this is outlining again that competition I talked about earlier with the first, middle, and last mile. Very competitive. We're building and building more infrastructure to be able to keep up with capacities, and the consumers demanding more and more things are shipped, right? When you think about it, dog food, water, you name it is coming to the door now, where we used to maybe go to brick and mortar. People are shipping different things that they weren't 5 years ago. So fierce competition. We've added a lot of equipment here in the Great Lakes to keep up with that capacity. Machine here in Detroit at the NDC to manage the larger and larger packages, because that is getting to be a good problem to solve, but a lot larger packages, right, are out there. And then the new players shaking up. We talked about that with the Ubers and different crowdsourcing for that delivery in that last mile. And then $517 billion, so half a $1 trillion spent on shipping and consumers. 15% increase from 2017. And I just think that's phenomenal. But we all have to learn, how do we keep up with that? And a lot of strategic teams out there. And this is showing the customer experience. Again, access to our network. Our network sorts, in the United States, 67% of the world's mail, when you think about it. That's a powerful, powerful network. Our reliable service. I'm very proud to say, too, that in the Great Lakes area, we're #1 in the nation for some of our package and parcel select, like that's shown up here, 99.93% on time. I think that's a huge thing to be proud of for all of our customers. We have used the tools, the technology, leveraged point to point, where we could keep getting better and better. And we're at 99.93 as of this morning, quarter to date. Our first class package services is one of the growing exponentially a product for us. And then our access points, again, just showing some of the access points up here, but 187,000 access points is also a very, very good way to engage our network with our customers, having that many choices. And we're really leveraging some of our brick and mortar to, future strategies, grow that brick and mortar. Who wants to have those access points? Think about parcel returns. The returns business is huge. 25% people buying things online are returning them. But only 3% if you go to the store, you'll return the items. So that's a huge industry in itself, the returns market, and trying to leverage our access points that I talked about for customers to be able to come in and return their products. 40%, again, want that seamless return process, right? If it's cumbersome, we tend to pull away from perhaps that company. We want a real seamless return experience. And then 95% of the customers will purchase again if it is a seamless experience with the returns. And then outlining the various ways that we can collaborate. I talked a little bit about the AIM, or the areas inspiring mail. The National Postal Forum's coming up in Orlando, and that's another great way. I talked about that. Our MTech committees, being involved with those MTech committees and helping shape, a whole host of projects that are on there, hundreds of things that we work and collaborate with the industry to make better and better, to support your concerns and your issues that you raised through that process. And again, it's all about growing our business, growing the industry, making it mail relevant, making mail important. We already talked about the return on investment when you partner with that omni-channel and what you can do with the various different platforms with digital, informed delivery being one of them. And again, our commitment is to leverage our technology, our network, and our 600,000 strong organization to serve you and your customers and be your brand with our brand. We take a lot of pride in that and delivering for each of your businesses. And I want to thank you for everything that you've done in your PCC to continue to make us stronger and bind our partnerships together. I know a lot went into this event. I want to thank those that went into, put all the work into this event. I think this is the best, I know it's the best PCC venue that I've ever had the pleasure of being in. I've been in them for 30 years. I just think it's phenomenal, the venue and the agenda for today and the creativity that went into linking that customer journey and pivoting off of the Postal Forum theme last year. So great job, Darren and Paul and your entire PCC.